What's up, gamers? It's Tyler back with another Percy Jackson video. A couple weeks ago, the finale of the Percy Jackson TV show Season 1 came out on Disney Plus, and it was fucking phenomenal. And as I was watching this episode, and all of the episodes, I was having some thoughts about the actors that they casted to play the characters. Because some of them, I was like, this is perfect. And some of them, I was like, this is not at all how I pictured the character, quite frankly. So I thought I would put it in the tier list. All right, so the tiers that we got here, we got S tier, which is like this actor perfectly embodies the character. Like they are the character. They were born to play this role. Like nobody could do this better than them. They were born to act in this TV show as these characters that were written 20 years before they were born. That's an exaggeration. 10 years before they were born? Then, moving down the list, we got A tier. And A tier is pretty close to S tier. It's like the actor, they did a perfect job in the role. They weren't born to play the role, but they captured the character, like, phenomenally. I could not have asked for a better job. It was so good. It was so good. B tier is like, yeah, the actor did a good job. I like how they played the character. I was maybe thrown off a little by them playing the character, or like it wasn't perfect, or I was like not expecting it to be as good as it was, something like that. Like it was like, wow, they did good, bravo. But like also someone else also probably could have done just as good, if not a better job. C tier is like, I think the actor did pretty good with the role, but I would have probably preferred someone else in the role. Like it was good, but it wasn't exactly what I imagined, and I feel like they're not like the person who has to play that role. Like someone else could have had the role and it would have been just as good, if not better. It just wasn't lining up 100%. And then finally, the dreaded F tier. For this tier, I'm thinking like, this is not how I imagined this character at all. Why did they cast this person? That's a little mean. I think the show was great. All right, let's go. First off, we got Walker as Percy. This kid, born to play Percy Jackson. He is Percy Jackson. Did you see him in that Ryan Reynolds movie when he was like 12? Like that is Percy Jackson at age 12. This kid is a mini Ryan Reynolds, and it is just, he did perfect. He was born to be Percy Jackson. Look at him. That's Percy Jackson right there. He delivers the sass, and he's perfect. Annabeth is next, and she's also going in the S tier. I fully supported this actress playing Annabeth, always. However, I was curious as to how she would like portray the character, and it is just perfect. Like that, the way she plays Annabeth is so correct. Like she is Annabeth Chase. Leah's acting in the show like made me like Annabeth so much more. Like don't get me wrong, I always liked Annabeth in the books, but just something about the way that Leah portrayed her made me love the character so much more. It was so correct. It was so good. I loved her like the moment she appeared on screen. Leah, born to play Annabeth. She is Annabeth Chase. All right, so this tier list, I guess, was just made in the order that I made my ranking, because next up is Dionysus. Whoever this man is, like the moment I saw he got casted, I was like, yes, this is perfect. Like, look at him. That's what a Greek god who's silly in drinks looks like. Like, look at that chaos. Look at that chaos. Everything about what he did on the show was just so correct. Like when he meets Percy and is fucking with him, perfect. This dude, that's Dionysus. He was born to be Dionysus. Like it's like Jack Black kind of energy is what I was looking for with this character, and he nails it. My boy Grover's next. Grover goes in the A tier. I absolutely love the way that Arian plays Grover. It isn't exactly what I imagined. I imagined Grover to be a little more like chaotic and funny, like the way Percy is, but this like sweet anxious guy is also very correct to the books, and he just does such a good job, and he gives the character a lot more depth, which I really appreciate, and I could not imagine anyone doing a better job as Grover and like creating the dynamic that the trio has than this guy right here. All right, next up we got Alecto, and I was so impressed with her performance. Like, it wasn't exactly what I pictured when I read the books, but I was blown away by how good of a job she did. Like, she was scary. She did a good job. I was impressed. I am absolutely putting this into the B tier. Very good performance. Also feel like someone else could have done a good performance. Not like she was born to play Alecto, but very good job. I was impressed for sure. If you're enjoying this, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would mean a lot to me. Trying to get to a goal of 500 subs by the end of the year, and we post videos like twice a week, like constant content coming, scheduled, planned. Like, you should just subscribe. We make good videos, you know? Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, Luke impressed me. When I was reading Percy Jackson, it was the same time that Bunked season 1 was airing on Disney Channel. So when I'm picturing this like blonde camp counselor guy, I'm picturing Xander from Bunked. So when I read Percy Jackson, I just took Xander and I added a little scar over his eye in my head, and that was Luke. But so when I found out that the gay boy from Diary of a Future President was casted to play Luke, I was like, how is this gonna work? Because I've only ever seen him in Diary of a Future President, which I highly recommend. He does a phenomenal job. Amazing show on Disney+. And I wasn't really confident in this casting decision. That shows, I mean, I've only seen him in the one thing, so I don't have a lot of like room to say on this. He just wasn't what I was like imagining when he was this like sweet little gay boy to play the very complex villain that is Luke in the Percy Jackson universe. So I was just absolutely blown away by his performance. It was incredible. He played Luke so well. Like, it was like the comforting older brother vibes. Like, this is my new friend. And then like the anger in the betrayal. I'm so excited to see what he does the rest of this series and the future seasons, because he plays Luke so well. I love all the little head nods he does when he talks. It feels very correct. I just like that his actor adds that. Like, Luke will talk and he'll do like little head nods, and I like it. All right, Nancy, I know that this actress is pretty close with the rest of the cast, and I wish that her character would come back. I support the idea that she could just be recast as Rachel, and we would all pretend that we didn't know it was the same person. As Nancy, however, I don't know, the actress is just so sweet. I have a hard time seeing her as a villain. I mean, Nancy's not a villain, that's a strong word. A bully? She did a good job, but she didn't have a lot of screen time, and also, I feel like anyone else also could have done this. Very Rachel-coded face in aesthetic. I see her more as a Rachel than a Nancy. I'm gonna put her in the C tier. All right, Clarice. I think this actress did a very good job, especially in the fight scene with her scream. Like, that was terrifying, and she does phenomenal in her scenes. That being said, how do I word this? I feel like she's too old, if that makes sense. In my head, Clarice is like 14 to Percy's 12. I don't know if that's correct. But in my head, she's like a couple, like 2 years older than Percy. And when I look at her, I see like a 16-year-old, and it just feels weird to see a 16-year-old beefing so hard with a 12-year-old. Like, that's my problem with it. And I guess it is still a 2-year age gap, because Walker's like was 14 and then she was 16. And it lines up if I was going 12, 14, and then 14, 16, but just in my head, she looks the same age as Luke, and it feels, and Luke is like a 16-year-old or whatever, and it just feels weird to see this 16-year-old beefing so hard with a 12-year-old, and I just feel like I can't take it seriously. Like, it's middle school bullying coming from someone who looks almost like an adult. And it just, I don't vibe with it. Like, I can't take it seriously. I can't, like, why are you cornering a 12-year-old in the bathroom? You are in high school. I don't know. It's just weird. How old is her character supposed to be? Yeah, she's supposed to be, like, 1 or 2 years older than Percy. So she's supposed to be, like, 13 or 14 years old. She's supposed to be, like, 13 or 14, the character. But then the actress is a year younger than the actor who plays Luke. She would have been 16 filming this, and it's just like, it feels too old for me. Bottom line, she feels too old for me. However, that being said, the actress did phenomenal, and I fully support her. So for those reasons, I'm going to be putting her in the C tier, because it isn't fitting with the age for me. But that's my only issue, is the age. All right, Kyron, he did great. He's very close to what I pictured. He's a bit older than what I pictured. Like, I pictured like the fan art, you know, like the original fan art. Like, I pictured the long brown hair. Like, I don't care what race Kyron is at all. I just like the idea of Kyron having long hair. If he digs, He's a bit young, but like that kind of vibe with the facial hair and the long hair, that's how I picture Kyron. Not like the gray hair that this actor had, but other than that, the vibes were so correct with like the wise, comforting Dumbledore type figure. So I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Let's go. All right, Medusa. Also, when she was cast, I was like, that's interesting. I wonder where this is gonna go. And it went so many good places. I loved how they handled the Medusa plotline. Maybe other than the fact that them figuring it out right away, because it would be fun to be like confused with them as they're figuring it out instead of right off the bat knowing it was Medusa's place. But other than that, loved the Medusa plotline so much. She did great. She did great. Other people also could have done great, but she did good. B tier as well. Chris, I like Chris. He did a good job. He didn't have a lot of lines or do a lot of things, but he was cool. I feel like someone else also could have been Chris and it would have had the same effect. Like, it's not like, yes, this is Chris, but he was cool. Gabe, I had a bit of a problem with. Gabe, he doesn't give like repulsive. Like, this man is supposed to smell so bad that Sally lived with him to cover Percy's scent to ward off monsters. And this guy's just like, I don't know, he just drinks beers and gets smothered by Sally. It's like they skip to the end of Sally's character development. Like, Sally is a strong, independent woman, but like she kind of grows into that over the course of the book. She doesn't start off like as strong-willed as they make her. Like, she grows. She's a human who is growing. And it's a really nice character development, so I'm a little thrown off by her, like, immediately standing up to Gabe. Also, isn't she supposed to be the one who turns him to stone? They didn't make Gabe awful enough. And I think that's why they had him accidentally turn to stone, because it would have seemed horrible for her to turn him to stone when he wasn't horrible. I don't know. He just should have been more repulsive and more abusive, in my opinion. He was almost like a bit of comedic relief when he should have been like, fuck this man. You feel me? F tier. I apologize. The actor was fine. It's not like the actor almost I have a problem with. I feel like this actor could have just been made to look more repulsive. I don't even mean like ugly. I just mean like smelly. Anyway, Sally. I was impressed with her performance. I liked it quite a lot. I was like really confused at this woman's age. She simultaneously looks really young and really old, and she's not exactly how I pictured Sally, but she does a very good job. I pictured Sally with like darker hair, but I guess that goes with like Percy's dark hair, and then Percy doesn't have dark hair in this, so she doesn't have as dark hair in this. I'm catching up. I like her scenes. She's very like motherly. It's good. It's good shit. I'm gonna put her at the top of the B tier. Okay. No, I really do like Electo a little more. I'm gonna swap him back. There we go. I like this character as well. I feel like it was good. It was good stuff. It was like very creepy and like almost fine at first, and then you're like, no, something's up, and I like that. She did a good job. Okay, Hades, I had a bit of a problem with. He was just like kind of small. Like, I imagine Hades as like this big, scary guy. I'm not saying like mean, but just like intimidating. Like, Hades is cool in the books and stuff. Like, I just, like, feel like he should look a little scarier, and he doesn't look scary. Like, his personality matched fine, but he just doesn't look scary enough. And I feel like they leaned a bit into, like, the style of Disney with making Hades kind of, like, queer-coded. Like, the way this actor plays Hades just had, like, some queer vibes to it, which I like. But it just, like, wasn't exactly the vibe I got from the books. He should have had, like, a bigger presence, I feel like he was just a guy. I'll put him there. Hermes, when they announced the casting, I was very, very confused because, like, I don't see Lin-Manuel Miranda, all respect to him, I don't see him as Hermes. And then I kind of really bought into the theory that the casino episode was going to be a musical episode. Like, I was really buying into that theory, not gonna lie. I thought that was gonna happen, and it didn't, but that's fine. But it would have made such a cool musical episode if he made that a musical. Because one thing about Lin-Manuel Miranda, boy, can that man write. Other than that, it's like, I don't see him as Hermes. But then, when I saw him on screen, he actually played Hermes quite well. Like, I was genuinely impressed with his performance. It was better than I expected. He did a good job. That did have Hermes vibes, for the most part. It wasn't perfect, but it did the job. That being said, I can't help but look at him and be like, that's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like, he's just, like, too well known to effectively completely play Hermes, because it kind of takes me out a little bit. Like, everyone else, I'm like, yeah. Like, with Dionysus, I'm like, yeah, that right there, that is Dionysus. But with Hermes, I'm like, that's Lin-Manuel Miranda playing a good Hermes, and that's the difference. So for those reasons, I am going to put him in the B tier. Ares was another one where I was so blown away. Like, that's Ares. Look at that. that man born to play Ares. He, like, that's the kind of presence I wish Hades had. Like, that man takes up the screen. That's, like, scary. He's scary. He played Ares so well. Like, that's the war god right there. Good fucking shit. Poseidon, I was impressed with. Like, he really does have that, like salt and pepper kind of vibe to him. Yeah, like that's a guy you're gonna see walking down on the beach. That's correct. Like that's very Poseidon. It's a very similar vibe, I feel like. Like they made, the hair is different. I assume that also matches with Walker having blonde hair, which is totally cool. I'm not super caught up on hair color. And it just has like the aged wisdom of a sea god with something brewing underneath. He does a good job. All right, Zeus is next. I believe the actor who played Zeus has passed away, so may he rest in peace. This is like no hate to him at all. I wish him and his family all of the best, and it is very sad that he has passed away. That being said, I liked his performance. However, I also feel like another person playing Zeus would have the same vibe, but he also takes up the screen in a way that I wish Hades did. I wish Hades had the presence that Zeus and Ares had in this show when he was on screen. Like, Zeus felt powerful. Like, yeah, that is the king of the gods. This man did a very good job. But I feel like other people could have done an equally good job. I don't have anyone in mind in particular. I just, like, his performance wasn't, like, so special that I'm like, yes, this is the only man that could play Zeus. It's like, yeah, he played Zeus good. Other people could also probably play Zeus good. Let's put him there. There. No, switch. Yeah, okay. Last and least, my least favorite is Hephaestus. I looked this up last time. Am I pronouncing this right?
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus. It's never gonna fucking stick. It's not that the actor did a bad job. It's that wasn't Hephaestus. They leaned in too much to the fact that he's like a mechanical smart guy that they cast like this like kind of dweeby figure. But Hephaestus' whole thing is he's supposed to be like burly, I feel like. Like, this is a guy who works with his hands and was cast out for being ugly. And, he's hammering metal all day. This is a built dude. Like, burly. He's supposed to be burly. People didn't like him because he was ugly. And, okay, that's mean. Ugly is mean because then it goes on to say it was because he was, like, disabled. So, I just meant, like, he's supposed to have, like, big energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at that. That's the vibe he's supposed to have. Like, he's supposed to be, like, this built dude that was cast out by his mother. He's supposed to look like he lives in the fire. He's just supposed to be this big guy. And this dweeb, no offense to him, but that's a little guy. That's a small man. I'm a small man. I'm not Hephaestus. He just looks like he's a professor or something. Like, what? He looks like he looks like an inventor, and Hephaestus is an inventor, but he looks like an inventor who, like, tinkers with his brain, not like a guy who, like, is in the forge. It's not the right vibe at all. So he goes last. There we have my tier list. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that subscribe button because I like to talk about Percy Jackson and play video games, and me and my buddy Soul that I share this account with, we talk about movies together, like once a week, and post a podcast about that. So you could go check out my other Percy Jackson video. You could go check out our gaming videos, our movie podcast. We've made like 35 movie podcasts that you should go watch because they're fun. And if you're watching this, maybe you also like movies, potentially. You should totally comment down below what you think, how you like these actors in their roles. This is what I think. Obviously, it's my video.